Hello everyone! Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Breadth actually indicators all over the map here, so I don't know whether Fjord's still working away on the engine. I know they are updating to a new version, so I don't know how accurate the data is. I did see that we were updating, so that was encouraging. But I loaded up the breadth page here just to show you guys. I mean, gee whiz. Things are still very uppy, and it just feels like this market, don't fight it to the downside. You know, I don't know about the stock market. And maybe we might even argue that maybe short-term checks of this overt bullishness are needed. But it feels to me like we're very close to some sort of seasonal pivot. I think kind of the people on the site were kind of like, well, Brian, don't you say that you're usually right, but you're usually early? So, you know, this has been sort of the theme of the videos of late is I'm from Missouri. Show me that you are bullish. Show me that you have turned. But I keep seeing more and more anecdotal evidence that, gee whiz, these things are turning. Of course, there's a crazy stock market. This was one of our site OG's ideas. It popped today, so a lot of the boys we played this thing through the winter and made great money. And anybody who reloaded on this thing through the spring, they're getting paid here today. So congratulations there. I didn't really bang out any doubles today. I did have a fun little pharma name. I think no, actually it was like a tech stock that I banged out a nice win on yesterday. But actually the one thing that really jumped out at me about the stock market yesterday was how the bank stocks just got absolutely smoked yesterday. So as you can see, I was talking about this with the site members. But also too, I did find it interesting that 2008 financial crisis, and I didn't actually get into this. I got sidetracked thinking some other thought when I was doing the daily brief. But we actually had a really nice sell signal on the S&P 500 through that 2007 market. And then, of course, 2008 is what the public saw. And I just wonder whether maybe we're starting to see, because keep in mind, that market broke in like March of that year. And then, of course, the disaster of 2008 actually, really, the market was tanking in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. Better be accurate, so let's pull it up just to make sure. Where the hell are we? So, U.S. housing crisis was in here. So this is what I was talking with the audience about today was these sell signals and off of the weekly charts, and this was the signal that I was sort of touting, was on the weekly charts we got a beautiful moving average cross right up top here, and the market just melted down following that. So this is what the public saw, but actually the sell signals actually were starting to be generated up top here back in like October 2007. 2008, actually, this is where the public pays attention, the end of 2008, 2009. So, I do not think that this cycle is the same in the U.S. I think the U.S., the correction, if there's going to be one, is going to be relatively tame. But I do think that the Canadian stock market definitely could be in a bit of trouble. I don't know whether the sell signals are coming in today. I mean, it's just, you can see, still very bullish on the weekly charts. Maybe too bullish? I don't know. But the daily charts, still no moving average crosses there. But, the stocks like AIG and Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns and... Actually, and specifically, there was a company called ABC Paper here in the Pacific Northwest that sort of led the charge, and they started breaking down ahead of time. And I'm wondering whether we're starting to see the early warning signs of the Canadian housing market destruction like the AIGs and the Lehman Brothers and all of those, well ahead of the 2008 financial crisis. They already started to break down. And, you just don't see these outside downside key reversals on big financial institutions like this. And then what shocked me yesterday, I couldn't believe this, you don't see stocks lose 4% that are big blue chip names like this every day. That is an anomaly. And what's interesting too is you can see this is the Canadian stock. And then let's go see who's actually doing the selling. And if you go down to the States, you can see, holy bejesus, the Americans. This is the sad part about Canada. They're so naive. They don't even realize that it might be the Americans that actually drive our beloved Canadian institutions into the ground. And it has absolutely nothing to do with anything any Canadian does here, which is so sad. But anyway, point of the matter here is very, very bearish. Very bearish messages out of the Canadian financial institutions. And, ironically enough, like you can see, and this is what gets me really excited, is we've spent the past 3 years developing this signaling system that basically told us, hey, pay attention here, something big's going on. And then when I go and I look in the options market, and keep in mind all these fat cat options guys, they have access to all this information. So notice that somebody in the options market, this was quote unquote the trade. They went and bought 2,000 of these calls at these puts at like $1.50, and they went out yesterday at like $5.50, and they're laughing right now. So I'm super stoked at the idea that we're almost at the point where I can finally sort of step back and go, TRI has a product that is incredibly valuable. Build a better mousetrap. People are going to beat a path to your door. This should be just a stunningly valuable product. But also, too, at least, understand that, a good trade is a good trade is a good trade. And the fat cat smart money managers, of course, they see this shit. They know what's going on, and they did the trade. And, of course, they're killing it, or they made a fortune. But it's just fascinating how, and the sad part about it is Joe Sixpack Canadian doesn't even understand what's going on here. This is very, very dangerous what's going on here. So, oh boy, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in the next 6 to 8 months. But if anything, this is kind of like writing on the walls. Like all you crypto enthusiasts, Bitcoin goes to $300,000-$400,000. This is exactly how that happens, is these big financial institutions are going to go bankrupt. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, goodness. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. But great that TRI's got this product to totally nail this. I was so happy when I saw that. And also, too, seeing vindication. The price action is validating the signal. I don't know. Where the hell am I going with all this today? Probably just want to jump back on over and look at your stuff here. There we are. Nice messy charts that we always like to look at. So US dollar index looking kind of toppy here. I still think that what's going on here is they're juicing the market down to try and get the US politicians to approve a big whack of new free money. The danger with that, though, is that we just keep going to the well. At some point, the market's going to be like, enough is enough. And I have a feeling that's coming this fall. I think that they will be able to juice the system and get the free money here now. But I got a funny feeling this is it. So Mr. Biden better do as much as he possibly can with this particular capital injection after this. I'm hearing that, just staggering amounts of people in the States just aren't paying rent now anymore. That's sort of, it's almost like a joke now. They're setting dangerous precedents here. And unfortunately, at some point, I mean, this is what really bugs me about the system is people actually believe that those people that you owe money to are not going to take you to court. They're not going to sue you. Keep in mind, the court systems can take years, sometimes decades to play out. So, be forewarned if you play that game. I'm a big fan of neither a debtor nor a lender be. I always just try and just sit on a big pile of cash, and that's my money. Back off! And of course, be diversified. US dollars, Canadian dollars, Bitcoins, euros, silver, gold, shitcoins, and the blue chip stocks. Just be nice and diversified. So if this is a 3-bar fractal that's firing here, technically that should be bullish of risk, bearish of risk off. But the interesting thing is at some point this whole dynamic is going to shift where, and I start to see it happen now, the sort of scuttlebutt is that the U.S. economy is going to grow at a faster rate than things like the European economy. And now there's a real question is, has China basically peaked out? And, does it have to go the road of Japan? And ironically enough, Chinese demographics right now are just an absolute train wreck. So it's very tough to actually make the bullish case of China now. So I could actually see a period where we have and this is basically my fear greed thesis. This is what should happen is we should have about a 10-15 year period where the US dollar index, relatively speaking, outperforms things like Europe and Asian economies. So we'll see how it goes. We'll know for certain that the bottom is in if we go blasting up and close up above this 93.5 area. Right now, I'd still say we're still range bound. And if Joe does get his big socialist package passed and there's a big injection of capital in the market, my hunch is US dollar index does come down. We might even A, B, C, D. And we're not done with testing the bottom end of this range. It's definitely possible. Something like that. I think to a certain degree that the U.S. Themselves, they kind of got caught through this. And so as a result, things like Airbus through here, I think one of the reasons why the US dollar index went just fucking absolute apeshit insane bullish here was European companies like Airbus got caught. And they had to borrow just a shitload of money in the short-term markets to meet debt obligations. There's this whole euro-dollar market nonsense we live in. And the Fed, had to desperately remember telling that Republican politician to shut up, when he was like, are you sure we should really be diluting the shit out of our children's future? Shut up! Hey, these old skeletons, they want to maintain their standard of living. Fuck the grandkids. So they printed off just a ton of debt. And, of course, just handed the Europeans all that money. And then I think, and it was interesting because even Powell himself even made reference. He was like, we just got to get through the year end. Just got to get through the year end. Just got to get through the year end. I think they got through the year end. Whatever this massive international injection of capital was, the deal was they had to get through the year end. And interesting, this was right around when you-know-who tried to topple the U.S. government. Fascinating how it all plays out together. Anyway, point of the matter here is it looks like the U.S. dollar's held, but we're not out of the woods yet. We'll only be out of the woods when we close up through the top here. So, let's see what happens. As I said, might be interesting to see if they take a serious run at these lows. Tough to say. I think for the time being, they want to keep the U.S. dollar relatively calm here. And of course, like I said, I think this is really predicated on whether Joe gets his huge spending package passed. If he does, then I think that this thing comes down for a while. And growth, Bitcoin prices, they go fucking ratcheting through the roof. Massive new dilution of the currency, blah, 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 blah. So, there's your backdrop. And if anything, almost setting up for our sort of summer silly season rally in altcoins, we got a nice top in the risk-off asset, right? So we can draw a nice little fractal through there. I've been sort of talking at length with a lot of sort of site members that I really like the idea of a bottom in the crypto market through this window here, the end of July or end of June, beginning of July. So if anything, that makes perfect sense with that thesis. Stocks, if risk is on, stocks are like, let's go fucking party. And my hunch is, we're now out of that tax loss selling window. So we are now into first couple weeks of the new quarter and earnings season. So have these companies been making any money at all along here? What do you think? I mean, a company like Disney with their massive library of online material, have they got the wind at their backs right now with regard to earnings, or the wind in their faces? Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Apple, get ready, folks. I got a funny feeling these guys are all heading into a pretty friendly earnings season. And of course, crypto itself is going to ride on that coattail. And interestingly enough, I was showing the good people here today. Man, there are a lot of crypto names that look really, really good here. This was just one of them in particular, LTO. I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to come in and take a bearish bet on a name here? I mean, look at that chart. Fuck me. I'm sorry. I think it's my irreverence that I just don't care anymore. I do swear a lot, probably way too much. So, but I'm not really trying to impress anybody. I just, I just look at that and I go, wow. And another expression for wow is F me. But anyway, if this bottom does fire, believe it or not, actually foggy levels there, that's like 2.5 times your money. And they're just sitting here. I mean, how often have you told me, you look back over time and you go, damn, the damn thing bottomed off 78.6. And, of course, good old Wyckoff checks. Good old Ben in our weekly show there, right? He's going to become Mr. Wyckoff check. So, I mean, you can see it. I mean, this is cliche, how cliche this is. Anyway. I mean, maybe there's another leg lower here. I mean, maybe. But I don't know. We're awfully at the bottom end of the range. We've just gone through a horrific meltdown. I mean, doesn't it seem logical that maybe we're actually going to have some sort of dead cat bounce here? To me, it does. But at the same time, too, this is the way capitalism works. Brian is often right, but he's usually early. So through all of this, I was like, put your money away, put your money away, put your money away. And it was painful for me to have to keep saying the same thing. And, of course, you guys saying, Brian, you're an idiot, shut up. Now, here we go. All the way down. Brian was early. He was right. Here we are. Now Brian's going, okay, you know what? This is probably worth starting to take a serious look at. Am I early? I mean, at these prices, this thing's damn cheap. I don't even mind being early. And FYI, I told Stuart because we do most of this stuff. I don't even go on to the Binance site anymore because I'm in Canada, and Binance has basically declared war against Canada. Or Canada's declared war against Binance, one of the two. So point of the matter here is I had Stuart's in Netherlands. And technically, I could still go on the site. BC, my province, hasn't outlawed Binance. I just don't even want any fingerprints or showing any trail that I was anywhere near there. So I did ask Stuart to go pick some up on Binance and throw it on the Uniswap or, get it off of the exchange ASAP, and I think he did that. But I'd go and buy that any day of the week right now. I would totally buy that. Nanny Nibbles, nice simple bets, whatever you want to call it. I can even, believe it or not, entertain leverage trades here. And this is a great example. Had you bought this W, right? Down, up, down, 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 breakout, boom. You're still in the trade. I mean, nothing's changed here. It's just sitting there, just doing its thing. So, what a great analogy of crypto right now. I like this EOS. I don't think I talked about this with the community. Look at that W. Damn, stone cold. And I think we're probably even getting like bull divs coming in here now. Yeah, look at the bull divs. Kevin, you see that bull div? God damn. Look at that. We're even getting a volume impetus breakout signal. Jesus Christ, this thing's a buy. So, I mean, I don't know where you're going to do it. There's another one of these Binance things. I don't know whether I can buy this over on Trex, but if I can, I would. Yeah. I'll go look after I'm done the video here, I suppose. But, I mean, look at that. I mean, Kevin, look at that. Hopefully, you know, we got one guy, I can never remember his name. Starts with a G. But, you know, hopefully you look at that. You've been watching these videos of mine long enough. I mean, this should be a gift. You should just go, holy shit, Brian, thanks. Look at that. Just staring us right in the face. There you go. And it's almost worth just going. I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm going to do this as I'm talking to you guys. I mean, are you a risk taker? Are you? But it's just right there. So, get ready, folks. I put out funny tweets the other day. Not really well received. 12-year-old references. But, I mean, get ready. Here it comes. You can just feel it. It's like a tsunami. And it's actually interesting because I don't participate on the site on Thursdays. Thursday's Liam's Day. I try to sort of take it easy. And I was kind of shocked at how bearish the sentiment actually was. So I was like, gee whiz, man, all this bearish sentiment, I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing some buying. But remember, folks, right? Brian's usually early. Brian's usually right, but he's usually early. Actually, here's a good-looking one. I think I've been accumulating this one all along here. Look at those W's. And I find it fascinating that the poop coins, like these pieces of poop, look at that W. I mean, there's a W staring us right in the face there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here. No, I don't get into the business of predicting the future, but gee whiz. I think there's some money to be made here. And like I said, I actually kind of like how bearish the sentiment is. That, if anything's a good sign. Bonds, if anything, maybe we get a nice little empire top after the ABCDs played itself out here to help that sort of risk-on case. That would make sense. I think I showed you like crypto stocks as yet another sort of proxy in the marketplace. Coin, the big cryptocurrency exchange. I actually went and bought a little bit of that the other day. I mean, that looks like a buy to me. And how ironic again, right? I mean, the public is so intensely bearish. Look at the Davos. Davo. Look at that. We got W's right across the board here. That looks like a buy. So I got a funny feeling that we're pretty darn close to some sort of bottom. So anyway, have fun with this market. Of course, caveat emptor, no guarantees from the management. Interesting are small cap versus large cap. We love to see these big tails because big tails shows there's buying interest. Be interesting. I remember the past couple of days when we've been talking to Kevin first thing in the morning in the day trader room. He really likes trading the Russell 2000, and he's just been like, "Holy fuck, it's a train wreck, man!" So it might be interesting to see if the Russell 2000 is looking a little happier. I don't know. Kevin, you want to chime in here? Feel free if you want to. Is Russell 2000 looking a little bit happier?
Yeah, it's catching a bounce today.
Yeah, there you go. RTY? I think that's what it is. E-mini, Russell 2000. There we go.
Still has a nasty M, though. Couple M's.
Yeah. Messy, eh? Messier than poop. Well, let's see how it goes. Interesting how very M-y up top here, and these bottoms are very V-bottomy. So I suppose that just that image right there, that massive pivot right there, sort of speaks to this huge tail that we're seeing here. But anyway, it's encouraging. It's not discouraging. I think before I ultimately go, yep, small caps are going to start rock and rolling. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if through this earnings season here, those big chunky tech stocks will produce insane numbers, and they do continue to outperform here. But if we're lucky, maybe we're getting near the base of this thing and we can start turning back higher. This is a good, at least initial anecdotal start to sort of the bottoming process. Let's hope that holds. And of course now, with this huge tail, if we puke out and lose that tail and actually go through this low here, then no, we got big bear A, B, C, D's further down. We got to go. Kind of like you see how they came down into the tail here after the bounce, and then kind of we're like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Puke out. Oh, more bear. So same sort of thing here. We've had the tail. We're going to get the dead cat bounce like here, and then we're going to ask, what are we going to do on the rollover, which probably comes like next week. And then we'll find out whether this thing's for real or not. So still a bit early to get excited about speculation on the long side. And I probably agree with that with crypto as well. So you remember last week when we did our free videos, we had on this channel here and we said if we M out below this channel, we're screwed. And you notice that this was all right along it. Then we lost it. We dumped down. And then we W'd. What the fuck? And like I said, had this turned into an M here, then we were toast. But it didn't. We came straight down into, I guess, a higher time frame support trend line right there. Boom. And the rule, of course, is that if we get an M below this uptrend line, that's a sell signal. But as it stands right now, off of this trend line, boom, boom, boom. If we M'd out below here, look out. So interesting, like I said, we puke straight out into a support line and then we get and W'd. And so the question for you guys is, notice that we put in a W here. And what are we supposed to think if we see a W in RSI, especially like a first one after like a cascade lower? That is bears, you got to cool your jets. And sure enough, we've jumped up here and now we're just parked. So if we actually go and put in another W through the 50 line, that becomes a big buy signal. If we can blast through that right there. But, and also too, you'll see that if that does happen, that would be a break of this downtrend line. That would be a really big buy signal. And that would be something like we went like that and then woohoo! And you can see this trend line. I mean, we might get a signal that comes in here and it jumps up into here, maybe recaptures the trend line and jumps all the way back up to things like the midpoint of the trend line. So that would be sort of a development that I could see happen to justify that 50 move through on the RSI breakout. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that would probably be a half decent illustration of what a buy signal through the 50 line would look like. It'd be a big signal. For now, all this simply is bears. You actually have this bearish A, B, C, D. It is a harmonic, but this is a bot setup to trade at. You do have it working. And frankly speaking, if you were a bear and you were like, well, Brian, you know what? I'm still going to work this market lower until it starts actually painting higher highs and higher lows. So I am short off of this level and I'll risk my stop against this high. I would respect that. Me personally, I don't really like the idea of being short and hunting short so close to reload zones. That doesn't mean it can't dump into here And you can see its target is technically actually a move stop to trailing level off an even bigger short formation. So if that happened, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. But like I said, if anything, I would almost be like, if this does dip into mountain man levels off higher time frames, I'd actually want to be a buyer, not a seller. You want to try and trade that through there? Totally cool. But I would say you got to wait for this thing to M out here and break this this little W here first. What has to happen now is we're not really bullish. So if you got an M that's here, this would be like bears are on pause. Bears are on pause, and now bulls are on pause. Everybody's on pause. And then a subsequent sell signal following that would be your new sell signal on RSI. So this is still going to take some time to develop. I also do like the idea that we're heading into the weekend. If anything, I think the crypto kids are relatively enthusiastic. The crypto kids are just absolutely all over DeFi right now. And I think I showed you, I think the crypto kids, they're less interested in Bitcoin right now, and they're more interested in things like Luna. I think this Luna here could crank higher here. And the interesting thing, of course, is that TRI, our CTO, Sjords, he's been pitching. He loves this idea. If this does rally up here, I can tell you, TRI people are going to be very, very happy. And then, like I said earlier, I'm seeing lots of really cool little ideas like this LTO coming in here. There is a lot of money to be made on the upside on this. But that's not Bitcoin. It's sort of this altcoin, and this is really what should happen this time of year, is we should head into the summer silly season. So we might find that, things like DeFi start going absolutely apeshit nuts here. I've been talking about this band. Great little signal there. Just slowly working away. Like I said, there was one that I tweeted out a few days ago. I think it was MUSE. And the interesting... Oh, there you go. Is that an omen? That's funny. Talk about big green somethings, but I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm not allowed to talk like that anymore, Brian. But even this one, I posted this 2 or 3 days ago right here. Where the fuck is the bear market? Like Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin's going to go to zero. This thing is I don't care. I mean, look at that. It still wants to point higher. So, that's the kind of market is. It's this stuff that's going to make you rich this time of year, folks. So pay attention. And notice, I can't buy this on Trex. They're like, this is wrapped ether, next generation. You're either in it to win it, or you're a old dinosaur. Get back in the closet there, old man. This is our time, says the millennials. I don't know. Anyway, point of the matter here is, gee whiz, that sure looks bullish. And I got a funny feeling these crypto kids are, we got one guy on the site, Farmer Dave, who's just a fucking DeFi ninja. And the guy, even a couple of weeks ago, he's already banging out huge wins in DeFi. So they're already happening even as we're speaking. In fact, I think this is one of the ones that he was all jazzed about here recently. Look at that. Look at that volume coming in. Ay, caramba. So, I did find it interesting that a lot of my shit is starting to wake up again. I mean, look at all this green. I thought somebody said the other day that crypto was going off the board. I don't see it going off the board here. Sorry, getting all excited. But there's a couple, here's my poop coins. I mean, look at this poop coin. I mean, I'm not pounding the table. Shit coins are shit coins are shit coins. But what are the odds of that thing maybe doubling in price over the next 6 months? Look how high they took this damn thing through this. What is this? This is insanity. That's literally 10x. I mean, I don't expect it to go, well, maybe 5x, whatever. Not expecting it, but, you want to go pick it. Look at it, there's a W. Jeez, there's a bullish divergence there. This is everything that I teach on this silly site that I run. So, I mean, I bought some there. I think I bought some more down here. I mean, you want to make money from trading? Look at this CRW. I mean, look at that. I don't know. They're there. Get ready, folks. Should be a fun summer. And I do actually like how incredibly bearish the atmosphere is. If anything, you know what we should expect? We should probably expect tweets and silly comments out of Dog Money Guy. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those are coming down the pike here too. So let's keep an eye. Yeah, so you can see Dog Money. Actually, interesting. Dog Money hasn't put in a bullish divergence yet. But you can see the potential Davos all starting to come back in here. So maybe finally even things like Dog Money are starting to firm up. So, all right, there's your report. Have fun in this market, folks. Like I said, I really like the DeFi story going forward here. I like the crypto summer. I like the altcoin season. And I like the idea that these markets they kind of feel like they're done going down. They would kind of want to go up now. So I'm usually right. Way to go, Brian. But I'm also usually a bit early. So just understand, maybe it's now, maybe it's a week or two from now. But I sure feel like this market wants to go up. So. All right, I think I'll leave it at that. Have yourselves a great weekend. We'll see you for broiler chickens if you fancy hanging out on the weekend and talking markets. We'll probably be talking a lot of price momentum analysis with the level oneers. And then on Wednesdays, we've got our Crypto Top 100 show, which I really like. Nick and Derek and Ben. So we'll just keep working through that list and keep filling out that database. So, all right, everybody, have yourselves a great rest of your day. PMA for the win. All the best, and bye for now.